Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to yet another reaction video. If you're new for the first time, my name is TMR and over here we talk reactions and reviews. What's goody everyone? How's everyone doing? I hope everybody is okay and staying safe. The states are starting to open, so people are getting out, moving around, and y'all, I must say it's a different environment. I'm seeing a lot of differences in, moving around the city, shopping and things of that nature. But I hope you guys are doing well with it. I know I'm trying to acclimate to the new normal, and now that I have your attention, make sure before you leave this channel you most definitely subscribe to it. Also make sure you scoot on over and click that notification bell, because they go hand in hand, so every time I drop a new video you'll be the first one to know it. All right, you guys, so we're gonna get right on into this reaction video. I have a couple things I want to talk about with you guys today, and I want to start off by saying first, RIP to Miss NAPP Queen. Miss NAPP Queen was a YouTuber here on the platform, and she beautiful woman. I didn't know of her channel. Her channel was basically showing how to take care of natural hair and knowing how to love you. Beautiful spirit. But she lost her life, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. It's anywhere from a week to 2 weeks ago. I just found out about it yesterday. But she lost her life due to domestic violence. Okay, so again, you guys, like I said, I didn't know of the lady's channel. I happened to stumble across the story last night and got very interested in it. And basically what happened was NAPP Queen, which was her YouTube name. Her real name I will put on the screen because I don't remember it off the top of my head, but she was dating a guy from high school. They were high school sweethearts, and she ended up going to college. She became a teacher, taught nutrition to the students of the Washington DC school district. And the guy that she had been dating since high school, when she went off to college, they kind of broke their relationship off, and they had been separated now for about 2 years. Well, 1 month ago, she got back together with him and let him move into her house or her apartment, and in 1 month he killed her. Okay, so it's a very sad story, you guys. Beautiful woman. Okay, she was only about 26 years old. She was born in 1994 and lost her life in 2020. So she was anywhere between 25 and 26 years old. I don't know when her birth date was, but y'all, look, a lot of us unfortunately can say that we have been victims of domestic violence. I am one. I am a person that was a victim of domestic violence, and I had the strength to get out of that relationship and never go back. Some people are not that fortunate. And what the reasons were for her to let him back in, I don't know. Y'all, we understand that a lot of times relationships, people don't know how to let go. But I will say this to my women, okay? Because I'm a woman, so I can speak to you. Sis, know your worth, okay? Let me tell you something that I had to learn the very hard way. If he put his hands on you once and he apologized for it, he gets on his knees, he cries, he'll say he'll never do it again. Sis, don't believe that. Because if they put their hands on you once, they most definitely will do it again. Because anything you love, you don't hurt, okay? You love your children, don't you? Do you wish harm on your children? Do you try to put harm on your child or children? No, you do not. So something that you love, you most definitely will not hurt. Now, we do understand that these relationships are very powerful situations. A lot goes into a relationship with a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman, or a man and a man, okay? Because when people love, they love hard. And unfortunately, something happened that day in NAPP Queen's apartment with her and her childhood sweetheart or high school sweetheart. Something happened, obviously, that can never be taken back. You know, unfortunately, because of her spirit, her loving spirit, it appears that she tried to give this young man a second chance, right? Maybe because of the love that she had for him, she decided to give him a place to stay. But obviously, he wasn't there for the reasons that she allowed him to come back, because she was just trying to be a kind spirit. So ladies, I say this, and I mean this with the most sincerity that I can give to you. Sis, know your worth. Know that you are worth more than what a man tells you or treats you. Okay? Understand that you are the most precious thing in this world, especially for the women with children. Do understand, sis, something happens to you, you can't control what's going to happen to your children. And if you love your children and you want to protect your children, protect yourself. Now, NAPP Queen didn't have any children, okay? But she could have. She could have had a beautiful family. But because of this ignorant person's selfishness, all that has been cut short for her. Okay? Sis, don't become a statistic. All right? I don't care how long y'all been together. I don't care what he tells you, how he persuades you. I don't care, sis. If the violence happened once, that opens the door for it to happen again. And you have to understand, sis, you only get one chance at this life. You don't get a second chance at this life. Okay? So if you love yourself and you love your life, love yourself enough to know that when the violence starts, you need to leave. You need to figure out the way. You need to have the strength to leave and never to return. I don't care if 3 years went by and you feel like he's grown, you've grown. Don't fool yourself, sis. Because one thing I will tell you, you could be with a person a million years, but sometimes there's situations where you never know who you're dealing with. Okay? Because people now are dealing with things that they can't control. People are dealing with inner demons. They're dealing with all type of evil spirits in their body. And sis, you can't control that. Okay? But you can control yourself. And you are the one who needs to make sure that you're safe. So I just wanted to say, you guys, be careful. Okay? Be careful. Love can be a beautiful thing, but it also can be a very tumultuous thing as well, okay? So, just protect your heart, protect yourself, know your worth, sis. All right, you guys, so let's get on with the rest of this reaction. All right, y'all, so, you know, I wanted to start the video off talking about that young lady because we're going to talk a little bit about Strongmommy Chrissy. Y'all know we do reactions over here. And if you are a Strongmommy Chrissy cousin, if you are a brave supporter of Strongmommy Chrissy and you don't like to hear nobody say anything about her, sis, I would advise you to go ahead and click off the video right now, because we're going to discuss some things. And the reason why we're going to discuss these things is because the majority of us who watch Strongmommy Chrissy are women, are mothers, and we're all rooting for the same thing. We're rooting for people. We're rooting for Strongmommy Chrissy to maintain, to manage, to have goals. We're rooting for her to do big things. I know I am. I don't want to see that girl not do good things. If she wants to do good things, if she has the power and the means to do it, I want that sister to succeed. Because if she succeeds, it shows other women that they can do it too. So, in Strongmommy Chrissy, she did 2 videos that I saw. She did a live the other day that has since been deleted. But in that live, you guys, she decided to address her, she was irritated, aggravated is the word that she used. And she wanted to address her husband and his new relationship with a woman by I believe her name is Stephanie. She wanted to address the situation with her husband and Stephanie and them getting ready to have a new baby come into this world. So Chrissy started off talking about the video, and she was saying how, you know, she's talked to Stephanie and there's no ill will between them, and she's had conversations with this woman and she wished them all the best in the world and she wishes them happiness and things of that nature. And then she went on to say that she's holding some animosity because although she's seeing these pictures that people are sending her, or she might be going to look for them herself, she's seeing these pictures of her husband being with this woman and holding her belly, caressing her, looking like he really is enjoying this new relationship and the fact that he has a new child coming into this world. But yet he wasn't there when Chrissy was going through her last trimester and the deliverance of her baby. So Chrissy, you know, she kept saying that she, you know, really happy for them, but you can tell in her demeanor that she's not that happy. Like, she's not ready to throw Stephanie a baby shower. I'm pretty sure of it, okay? I'm pretty sure she's not ready to throw Stephanie a baby shower. And guess what? It's okay. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't like the fact that you're with this woman because you broke up my family. He broke up their family, and he broke up the chance that they could have had in a happy ending. I do feel like, you guys, Chrissy played a big role in the demise of that relationship. I feel like she played a role in it, because at the end of the day, y'all, we can act ignorant about it if we want to, but it always takes two to tango. Okay, it takes two to tango. So I'm listening to Chrissy, and she starts, you know, for once she started really telling the truth. And it's just odd to me because now, a year later after the breakup, you're really telling the truth about what transpired in y'all relationship. But when you were telling the story a year ago, sis, you weren't telling the truth. You were elaborating or you were exaggerating. I'm gonna say that she was exaggerating about, again, like I told y'all before, I feel like a lot of times when Chrissy speaks about things that's going on in her life, she comes from a place of what she wants to be happening right now, but that's obviously not what's happening, right? And so she started talking about how, you know, she wished she could, you know, stab him in the neck and things that, and I'm thinking to myself, right, sis, like, that's that energy you need to keep. When you start telling us, I'm not gonna say me, she wasn't just talking to me. When you start telling us how you're on the phone with the new baby mama and y'all are just, you know, real good. I'm not gonna say she said they were real, but you guys have this understanding. Since the same energy that you had standing in that live, telling us how you wanted to cut the ninja's neck, okay? Since that had to be the same energy you was having when you was on that phone with this woman, because you got to understand, this woman is exploring things with your husband that she shouldn't have no business exploring, because he's technically still your husband. So we're not going to sit up here and just act like Strongmommy Chrissy is all at fault. This Stephanie woman is at fault as well. Especially, we do know DeMarcus is the common denominator of this whole equation, okay? So we do know he's the common denominator. And Stephanie says in the beginning, because I did talk to her on IG, she said in the beginning when she first met DeMarcus, he didn't tell her she was married. Well, of course he did. Okay, because what man will say, yeah, I'm married, but can we still have a relationship? Because, you know, women, they want their own man. Yeah, they don't want to share no man. And most women who want to be married, they don't want bad karma on them dating a married man, because that could potentially tarnish their situation of trying to become married one day. Okay, but when Stephanie found out that, once she did find out that this man was married, my personal opinion, sis, regardless of what he told you, the truth is he's married. Regardless if he said the relationship, they're getting a divorce, since they haven't got a divorce. Regardless if he says the love wasn't there anymore, and it might not been, but the ring is still in the ring box, okay? So sis, you should have walked away from that situation, and you tell him, look, when you get that situation together, then you come holler at me. But since you didn't do that, okay? You didn't do that, and you decided to carry on a relationship and then also get pregnant by a man who's married. Okay, and deserted a whole family, because DeMarcus just didn't desert his 3 children with Chrissy, he deserted all those children because he was the father figure in the home for 5 or 6 years that they were together. He was there. Although those kids might not have called him daddy, but he was the daddy figure in that home. And he walked away from all of that. See, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Look. When you meet a man and he tells you, I was in a relationship and it just ended a month ago, sis, walk away. Okay? Walk away. Because a lot of times when them relationships are so fresh of being, you know, ending, your sis, there's always a chance for them relationships to rekindle. Okay? Because feelings are still there. There's some anger there, but there's some feelings, some deep feelings there, okay, that can possibly rekindle. So you need to give those type of relationships, you need to give them the chance to do its cycle, for it to go all the way out, right? You need to let those type of the fresh new relationships that just ended, those new ended relationships, you need to allow them to let it run its cycle before you start jumping in the saddle with them. Because you know why, sis? Because then you become a part of the baggage, right? You become a part of the baggage, and now you have, Stephanie has now become a part of the baggage, because once she did find out that he was married, she didn't allow herself to disassociate herself so she could end that cycle so they could begin a new cycle, right? So since you jumped into this cycle, right? So now you're a part of the problem, okay? However you want to look at it, sis, you are now a part of the problem, okay? So Chrissy was talking about how, you know, she held DeMarcus down and he never really worked. But, you know, back when I started working 2 years ago, when she moved from Colorado to Vegas, she told the story that his job was transferring him there. Now, she did say he worked part-time and he went to school. But sis, when did he allow you to further your education? See, this is what happens when we start treating these men like they are children instead of letting them be who they are. The man, right? Yeah, you can't raise a man. He has to come to you already raised. And sis, if he still needs some raising, yeah, you need to let him go back to his mama and let his mama finish where she left off at. Yeah, you don't need to play the role of mama. See, that's a lot of us women problem. We try to play the role as mama to these men. And I can say that from experience, sis, because I was a man's mama too, okay? So I can tell you this from experience. So Christie started saying that, you know, she was holding that man down, and now that it's over, she regret the decisions that she made. And, you know, at the end of the day, y'all, we live and learn, right? But I think Chrissy came into a situation when she met DeMarcus. She obviously wasn't in a relationship with a man, and she had already 6 children. I don't know how many fathers, but it was at least, we just gonna say 3, okay? I don't know. 3 fathers, that obviously the relationships had ended, right? 3 or 4, I don't know, because I know she had a set of twins, and then so maybe 4 fathers at the time. I don't know, y'all. So obviously she was in a situation where she had just probably got out of a relationship with one of those daddies, maybe the last set of kids or whatever, and she was on the market, right? But because she was on the market, she was in the store. So we're gonna pretend like Chrissy was at the fish market. Chrissy was at the fish market, and Chrissy, we just gonna use this as an analogy, right? Chrissy loves perch, okay? She don't eat nothing but perch. So she walks into the fish market, okay? And she tells the person, I need some perch. Let me get 2 pounds of perch. The man says, yeah, we don't have any perch. Well, we have some, but it hasn't came yet. It won't be here till tomorrow. So instead of Chrissy just coming back tomorrow to the fish market to get what she likes and what she only eats perch, she went on ahead and gave an exception. And she said, well, you know what? Well, go and get me some catfish, because I don't want to wait. Okay? Guys, get that analogy that I just gave you? Chrissy just had got out of a relationship with obviously one of those daddies, right? And she was at the market, and DeMarcus was on the menu, but he ain't really the fish that she likes, right? She likes perch, but he was the catfish. The man told her, man, we're going to have some catfish tomorrow. So if you come back tomorrow, we can give you some. She didn't want to wait. So, but she decided went on ahead and took the catfish, knowing that ain't really what she wanted. You get what I'm coming from this? So that's what happens, y'all, when we don't take our time and we rush through situations because we are used to being with somebody and we don't know what it should be or what it feels like to be without somebody. Yeah, we just jump into the next relationship knowing that we have a lot of baggage from that old relationship that we didn't get rid of. So you just keep carrying that baggage into each new relationship because you won't allow yourself to release that old baggage. So I'm listening to Chrissy and I'm watching her and I'm like, sis, you really need to stop making your life a show. I do understand you say you vlog your life, but things that are personal, sis, you need to keep those personal, right? The trials and tribulations of your relationship should not be displayed on YouTube. But we do understand it has happened and it did happen. And this is when she comes where she's having these conversations. Now, my personal opinion, if Chrissy was really going to have this conversation, sis, you should have had that conversation on your new channel, Starlo Omega, because you can go live on it because you have over 1,000 subs over there. Sis, that should have been the channel. That should have been the conversation for that channel because I'm assuming because you said you were going to be talking about relationships over there. Like, sis, I don't understand why you keep dragging this drama on Strongmommy Chrissy. I do understand Strongmommy Chrissy right now is your cash cow, and that's where you're making the best of your money. But sis, you really need to have those conversations over there because you're confusing the two. You are a mother, and you're supposed to be, well, she should be portraying content as being a mommy, but she keeps dragging all this drama on the mommy channel that should be talking about her being a mommy to 9 children. But yet we got to keep hearing about the hiccups with the relationship with DeMarcus. So you guys, she did a lot of talking and she also said that, when they got married, I guess they went to I believe she said they went to the justice of the peace or whatever. She said she bought her own ring because she really wanted a ring and she bought her own ring. Well, sis, that's where you messed up. See, you won't allow this man to treat you like a woman, right? You won't allow him to treat you like the queen that you are. So when you don't allow these men to do for you like men should be doing for you, see, then that's what happens. When you are the type of woman where you tell this man, yeah, I'm a strong woman, I take care of myself, I do my own thing. Well, you know what's gonna happen, sis? He gonna allow you to do that. Now, I'm not saying that you should get with a man and act like a wimp. But sis, when you get with a man, you let him play his role. Let the man play his role as being the provider, the protector, and the comforter, right? When you don't allow them to play their role, then guess what they do? They don't play their role. Then sis, you're playing both parts. You're being the man and the woman. So what Chrissy did in that relationship, she was the man and the woman. She was bringing in the money. She was making the decisions. She was doing the hustling, and she allowed him to sit and perch up on the couch. And now you mad, sis, because it appears that he has moved on with this new woman and he's doing things there that you should have been allowing him or demanding him to do when he was there with you. Well, sis, this sister might be making this man play the man role. Now, I don't know if he has a job or not, y'all. They say the Stephanie girl said he does. Chrissy says he doesn't. But I don't understand why Stephanie would lie about that. If he don't got a job, he don't got a job. But it did show, it was on Instagram. I heard somebody say on the live that on Instagram, that man gave Stephanie a ring. So I'm thinking to myself, if this is true, how's he giving you a ring, sis, and he's ringed up with somebody else? Now, the only thing I can think of is either the marriage for Christie and DeMarcus is a lie, or he just giving her a ring, a promise ring. Well, at the end of the day, you don't need a ring for somebody to promise you anything, because when y'all say y'all boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever, then you, at that moment, it's understood that you promise that you are going to be faithful to me, and we're going to build this relationship to hopefully eventually it becomes a marriage. Yeah, you don't do promise rings, okay? The promise that you need on a ring is an engagement ring. That's the promise that you need. So, you know what, y'all? I just was like, look, Chrissy. See what happened, sis? This is what happened. You gave this fairy tale story to everybody on YouTube land. You were telling this fairy tale about what we thought was going on in your relationship, and obviously it wasn't. And sis, you told those fairy tales for so long, you even started believing them. And then one day, DeMarcus made your fairy tale into a nightmare. Yeah, that's what happened, sis. And what you need to learn is not to let that happen again. Now, I will say this. The recent events of this new man that she's met in Houston, sis, it appears to me that you ain't learned your lesson. And you're going to keep bumping your head until you finally bend down and stop letting that banister above your head until you stop bumping it, sis. You're going to keep bumping your head until you realize that you got to let these men be men. You got to let these men play the part. And if the man can't play the part, sis, you need to get a whole new casting character. Okay? Yeah, you can't run the whole show, sis. You have to allow him to participate in running that show. And it appears to me with the events of what's going on with that new guy that came out, the BAM guy, it just sounds like Chrissy is playing DeMarcus Part 2 all over again. And as long as you keep doing that, sis, you're going to keep getting DeMarcus results. So, y'all, we're going to get on off of Chrissy and her live. At the end of the day, y'all, that's pretty much my reaction to it. You know, I just feel like Chrissy, she got some more growing to do, obviously, and I think she knows that as well. And I really hope that she sees that the mistakes that she made in that old relationship, that she needs to not make them in any relationships moving forward. The conversation with Stephanie, sis, I really feel like you need to stay off the phone with sis until you get that divorce from DeMarcus, okay? Because right now, you know, she should be on the other side of the fence. She can't be on your side of the fence, because really, you know, if you really want to know the truth, it's like fraternizing with the enemy, okay? Because she has crossed troubled waters by dating your husband and also getting impregnated with your husband, all right? So sis, you need to quit the phone conversation, because really, she's not a part of your marriage. He is. You don't need to be talking to her about nothing, because you ain't said I do to her, okay? You need to be talking to him. He is who you need to have conversations with, and the conversation should be about, when we getting this divorce, when is these papers being signed, do you got the money? If not, I do. And when you come to see these kids, or y'all setting up y'all visitations, because you most definitely need to allow that man to see his children. If, you know, we got a lot of men out here that's not being fathers, and if he wants to be a father, then let him be a father. Now, I do understand you said that he ain't came to see the kids and this, that, and the other. Well, sis, I mean, to be quite honest with you, you have been in a situation where you were kind of like in transition, so he really didn't have a place to come visit with them. But now that you got a solid home, you know, in Texas, now you could probably set up some things where he can start visiting with his children. Like, at the end of the day, don't put the kids in the middle of grown folks' business, okay? Y'all, so now we're going to talk about a little bit about Chrissy's video. I believe she came out with yesterday, where she was discussing the CPS allegations. She said CPS came to her house because somebody in internet land has called CPS on her. They said that she was a bad mother. She was a, you know, alcoholic, drugs, stuff, you know, whatever, okay? Now, we do understand the reason why a lot of that came out is because Liv's Life, the Mamiana person, you know, Liv's Life, y'all. She was in the Mamiana gang. She, you know, told a lot of stuff that went on in the Houston trip, and people are now, you know, taking that and running with it, right? And I'm gonna say this, you guys. Chrissy is, what, getting ready to be 30 years old, so she can drink. Drinking is not illegal. Drinking and driving is illegal. But if you're sitting in your house and you having a few cocktails, even if you have those cocktails to the point where you get a little inebriated, yes, sis, that's still not against this law, as long as you don't get in the car and drive while you're inebriated, okay? So drinking is not against the law. It doesn't make you a bad mother if you drink. Like, occasionally. I drink when the time is appropriate, and I'm a fruity drink type person, because I really don't like to taste the alcohol, right? So I will say that, so drinking is not against the law, okay? Doesn't make you a bad person to drink. I mean, anything you do obsessively is bad. If you eat obsessively, that's bad, okay? But I don't think you should get your kids taken away because you overweight, because you eat too much, right? Now, you know, narcotic allegations. Yeah, I don't know about that either. Again, that's what they, you know, Olivia said. Chrissy denied it. Only people know, obviously, is Chrissy, the person that if there was some transactions taking place, the person the transactions was involved in, like, them the only parties that know. She definitely ain't doing it on camera. So if it's not done on camera, anything that we say is speculation. Yeah, we don't know, right? So, you know, she said CPS came to her house and talked to the children and this, that, and the other. And y'all, look, me being a former foster parent, that is protocol. Whenever CPS gets an allegation, that's what they do. They have to come check out the allegation. Now, I will say this. It's a shame for Chrissy to be in Texas not even 3 months, maybe right at 3 months now, and CPS already knocking on your door. Even a resident of the state, because you have to be in a state a whole year to be an official resident. Like, sis, you barely been there 3 months and they knocking on your door. Now, she did say that, you know, all this is going on is really too much for her, and she's starting to second guess even being on YouTube. And I'm gonna tell you this, Chrissy, don't stop your money, sis. Don't let nobody stop your money. All right, now that's foolishness talking. Now, at the end of the day, you have managed to grow this channel to be the cash cow that it is, and sis, don't let nobody stop your pockets. Because what I will say is, if the Department of Children's Service of Texas came and snatched all Chrissy 8 kids in that house, which one of you subscribers getting ready to let them come stay with y'all? Yeah, none of y'all. None of y'all are getting ready to let them 8 kids come stay with y'all. And what I will say is this. A lot of times when these kids go in foster care, they're in worse situations than they was when they was with the biological parent. And I know that from a fact. I've had children that were in 6 and 7 different foster homes because they were experiencing some type of abuse, either from the foster parent or the children that were already in the home. Foster care is a very scary place for children, right? Now, I'm going to say this, y'all. My home obviously was not like that, honey. There's not a person or a child in the state that I live in can tell you I did anything to a child, because I treated those children like I would want to treat my own. But guess what, y'all? Everybody don't think like me, all right? And you get a lot of these people that misuse these children because they're not their children and they don't care, right? So to take those kids away from all they ever known is their mama, yes, that would be a horror. That would be horrible to those children. Could you imagine how terrified those children would be? Now, if Chrissy got some activities going on that is not conducive with being a mom, I would advise her to go ahead and stop those now, sis. You need to go ahead and stop it, because obviously people are on your trail. Okay, so y'all, I did notice in Chrissy's live that her mom is here now. Well, sis, good move. Your mama need to be there, because you need to be having somebody at that house when you leaving them house, and possibly leaving them kids alone, even if it's running up to the gas station or the Starbucks. Yes, somebody most definitely needs to be in that building, because your kids are too young to be left alone even for 5 minutes, sis, because something can happen in 5 minutes. Okay? So I'm glad Chrissy's mom is there, you know, to help out. So there is another adult in the building. I think a lot of the reasons why Chrissy got those CPS calls, because people just assumed that because she was leaving the house a lot, people and the kids wasn't in the car, they just assumed that they was there by themselves, because everybody know Chrissy went to Houston by herself, right? So again, but that's an assumption. We don't know that to be true. So y'all, look, my best advice to Chrissy is, sis, you need to lay low. Now, Chrissy said that the case was closed. With, in all actuality, me being a foster parent, the case not closed. The case is actually still open. They just declared it unsubstantiated, meaning they went into her home, addressed the allegations, didn't see any proof of those allegations, and they have closed those allegations. But typically what happens is, once a case is opened on you, it's that your case stays open for 6 months, because they want to ensure nothing else happens. And if nothing else happens, then it just closes, right? Yes. Especially with her having so many children, I'm pretty sure the Texas Department of Children's Services is going to, you know, I'm not saying they're going to be sitting at her house staking out with binoculars, but they going to They're going to keep their eyes and ears open, okay? Because one thing I can say about Texas, y'all, they are very strict when it comes to the child welfare laws in that state. They are very, very, very strict. I'm not saying all states aren't, but Texas most definitely is. They do not play in Texas. Texas and Georgia, they do not play, okay? I know that for a fact. So, y'all, look, at the end of the day, we can only hope that Chrissy, you know, does is what she needs to do. Does she need to get off YouTube? No. But sis, what you need to start doing is censoring the things that you allow the world to know about you. Censor the things that could potentially get out about you. Be around the positive people and influences that you need to be out. And just because your mama there, sis, doesn't mean this is party time USA. At the end of the day, don't use your mama. Because obviously, sis, when you in a clinch, who coming through? Your mama. All right, y'all, I'm out. I'm gone. I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Y'all make sure y'all stay safe. And I most definitely will talk to y'all later. Remember, you guys, sub what you love. Bye.